Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We're following new developments in New Orleans tonight, where 15 people are dead after a truck drove into a crowd. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Bridget Bureau. Before we get to that top story, we are tracking the weather tonight. We are on a weather impact alert. Some rain made its way across the state. We are tracking some areas still seeing rain and snow right now. And on top of all of that, it's still going to be very windy outside. So get ready. Let's check in with our chief, Rachel Frank, for a first look at the forecast. How's it looking, Rachel?
Well, it looks like the rain and snow showers are in the process of dwindling. You can actually see here towards the end of the loop that moisture is running out. So we've got a few leftover showers in Tolland, Stafford, maybe a few wet snowflakes, but temperatures are above freezing. So even if there were some wet snowflakes, it would fail to accumulate. Salisbury, Sharon, also hanging on with a couple leftover snow showers. And there might be a renegade slippery spot there, but this is overall moving out. I would say last raindrop or snowflake through about midnight. Then our attention shifts to the winds, and you might have already noticed, especially in Fairfield County, those winds are really picking up. We've got gusts up around 35 and 40 miles an hour, and a wind advisory has been hoisted by the National Weather Service just to warn people about this until this time tomorrow night. So it's in effect for quite a while. Top gusts could get up to 40 or 50 miles an hour, and that could result in isolated outages. I don't think we're going to see widespread, numerous outages across the state, but there could at least be a few trouble spots. So secure your holiday decorations. And sometimes we want to let you know when we have these kind of nuisance events, and the wind has been kind of a nuisance lately. Temperatures right now are in the upper 30s to right around 40, although closer to freezing in Torrington, which is why we said there could be a few slippery spots there. Overnight lows stay in the 30s. Tomorrow it is partly cloudy and cooler. We're looking at highs around 40 degrees, and that gusty wind, especially during the afternoon, turning even colder Friday into this upcoming weekend. We'll get a closer look at all of those changes. Your full forecast coming up in just a bit. Bridget.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A deadly attack on New Year's Day is being investigated as a terror attack by the FBI. A truck barreled into a crowd on Bourbon Street. Surveillance video shows the moments the truck slipped through police barricades to target pedestrians. 15 people are now dead. Many more are wounded. The driver is also dead, but now the FBI has reason to believe that he did not act alone. For the very latest, I'll send it over to Rebecca Castor.
The FBI says it doesn't believe the shooter acted alone and are focusing on a range of suspects.
We are committed, no doubt, to uncovering all details surrounding this tragedy.
New Orleans officials pledging justice for the victims of Wednesday's fatal truck ramming on Bourbon Street. A U.S. Army veteran with an ISIS flag on his vehicle swerved around makeshift barriers just hours into the new year.
A truck hits the corner and comes barreling through people, throwing people like a movie scene, like real life, throwing people into the air.
Police say the driver, shot and killed in a gunfight with police, was 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen. Investigators finding weapons and potential IEDs inside the suspect's vehicle, with other potential IEDs located in the French Quarter.
We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal.
In Houston, a SWAT team searched the suspect's home. The FBI saying the incident is being investigated as an act of terrorism.
And as we know, this is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
Authorities are still investigating whether the suspect was a member of ISIS and are searching for others who may have been involved.
This is a very fluid process. And remember something, too. We're doing two things. We're hunting some bad people down, and we're securing the city, too. We're getting ready for a Sugar Bowl tomorrow.
And the Sugar Bowl, originally scheduled for this evening, has been postponed until Thursday to allow more time for adding extra security. In New Orleans, Rebecca Castor, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Federal authorities are also investigating whether there might be a link between the New Orleans attack and a deadly blast outside of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas today. President Biden telling reporters there's nothing to report, but that they're looking into a possible connection there. We'll have much more details on that incident coming up in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. Meantime, our state leaders are reacting tonight to the attack in New Orleans. Senator Chris Murphy posting on X stating, quote, "My heart goes out to the victims and their families families. Our endless gratitude is with the first responders. The job now is to understand what happened and if there were any conspirators, hold them accountable, end quote. And Senate Minority Leader Stephen Harding released a statement on behalf of the Connecticut Senate Republican caucus saying, quote, as the investigation evolves, as every lead is pursued, and as the truth is uncovered, we will continue to pray for the people of New Orleans and that all involved in this terrorism will be brought to justice. We will continue to follow new developments on this attack over in New Orleans. You'll find more coverage on our free Fox 61 News app, so use the QR code on your screen to download it or go to our website, fox61.com. East Hartford police are investigating a robbery at a gas station. It happened at the Citgo on Burnside Avenue early this morning. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot spoke with customers there tonight and has the details.
People in the Burnside neighborhood of East Hartford tell me they were shocked to learn that their local gas station was robbed and that the suspects were armed. According to East Hartford police, 2 males robbed the clerk at Citgo gas station after 3:30 Wednesday morning.
This is not the first time that this has happened over at this gas station. It seems like it's becoming a regular thing, and it's not good for this community. Those in the East Hartford community say this is not how you should bring in the new year. I think there need to be more presence of police, and well, they're here, but it's just unfortunate these things are happening. The clerks reported one suspect went behind the counter and demanded cash, and the other stood at the door as a lookout. Both suspects were reported to be armed with handguns and stole $300 in cash and coins. This incident isn't stopping customers, though.
I'm going to continue to come here because you can't let that get in your way, but there's just got to be more people more vigilant, that's all.
I grew up in East Hartford. It's always been a good town. I'm from Bolton now, but I just say that people should really be aware of what's going on around them, too, while they're out, because it is dangerous.
Ultimately, Paul Mott thinks people have too much time on their hands.
There's a lot of jobs out there right now. You just got to look for them, but there is a lot more than there was years ago. Police say no arrests have been made yet and no one was hurt. In East Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Kay, glad to know there were no injuries there. Thank you. Well, people around the world celebrate the 8th and final night of Hanukkah tonight. A special celebration happened earlier in Glastonbury, and Fox 61's Stefan Reels was there.
For 8 nights, the Jewish community celebrated the light and the miracles of Hanukkah. And for the final night, this Chabad here in Glastonbury concluded a statewide journey. You can hear the music which filled the halls of the Chabad Wednesday night. People here looked back at the history of the Jewish holiday with prayer and food cooked in oil to signify the oil that burnt for 8 nights. But one of the showstoppers was this menorah, which had traveled and had been lit across several different towns here in Connecticut. And part of the reason for this travel is actually steeped in Jewish tradition.
From Glastonbury to Tallinn to South Windsor to West Hartford to Colchester to Ellington, all these towns. And there's such a deep spirit. When it comes to Hanukkah, it's not just about doing it, it's about publicizing it. And I think in this year and in this environment, it's very important. When we do good, we shouldn't keep it to ourselves. The flames of the menorah represent a spiritual energy. They represent the human soul. They represent decency and holiness. So we have a mandate not just to do it, but to publicize it.
And while Wednesday night might be the final one of Hanukkah, the holiday won't actually end until Thursday, January 2nd at sundown. In Glastonbury, Stefan Reels, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Stefan, appreciate that. Thank you. New tonight, Bridgeport police search for the driver involved in a hit and run. It happened near Madison Avenue and Frank Street around 6 tonight. Police say a pedestrian was hit and brought to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. Police say the vehicle drove away from the scene. Anyone with any information about this crash is asked to call the Bridgeport Police Department. A Meriden man was arrested and charged with child endangerment, this after a months-long investigation into sexual abuse. Adelise Rojas was arrested last month. He's accused of abusing a 6-year-old child for years. He's now out on bond. An investigation underway in Ledyard now after a lightning strike sparked a house fire. Eversource crews were there to report smoke on the Boulder Way area at 2:30 this morning. No one was inside the home at the time. Fire crews say flames started in the laundry room. It was extinguished by crews. No one was injured. An update now on a deadly plane crash right near Greenwich last month. Federal investigators believe engine failure caused the small plane to crash into the median. This happened of I-684 around 6:39 p.m. to be exact. One of the two pilots on board reported they had engine problems. They asked to divert to Westchester County Airport in White Plains, New York. 1 minute later, the pilot reached back out to air traffic control and said the engine worked after switching engine fuel tanks. But then just 2 minutes after that, the engine failed again and the plane crashed. One pilot died and the other was seriously injured.